Hi there, this is Kaushik Ranchod from Ranchod Law TV, and welcome to our immigration show. We're going to give you the latest update of what's going on with citizenship and how politics is affecting your application. So you want to make sure that you watch this entire video so you can see why the processing times are taking so long, how that's affecting you, what the latest trends are, and what the requirements are. So stay tuned. So let's jump into it. A lot of you have applied for citizenship, or that's the angle you want to apply for citizenship, and numbers have increased significantly since the Trump administration. Probably a large part of this reason is because of all that anti-immigration rhetoric. And the ironic thing is that he's portraying himself, if you saw the RNC convention, he's portraying himself now as pro-immigration and even highlighted as oath ceremony, meanwhile putting policies out which are truly anti-immigration. So let's look at first what is required, like how do you become a citizen? Well, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you just apply for citizenship? Well, it's a long path and it ain't that easy. So let's talk about what that path is. Well, either you came in like on some type of visa, then you have to, after you're on that temporary visa, let's say a work visa, then you have to get a green card. And if you go that route, you gotta be a green card holder for 4 years and 9 months. So you can apply 90 days before the 5-year period and apply for citizenship. Some things you need to demonstrate are good moral character. If you have any criminal issue, you really need to talk to an attorney to make sure that that doesn't affect your case, especially if it's within the last 5 years. Another important aspect is taxes. You want to make sure that you pay taxes. There's also selective service. That's also another important issue. You may or may not have had to register for selective service. So you'll see here that that is a long path. Now, the other way here is marriage. If you got your green card through marriage and you were married less than 2 years, then what you can do is apply to remove your conditions, the I-751 application. You have to continue to show that you have a real marriage, show joint documents demonstrating that you have a real marriage. Some of the things that they look for are documents that are in both of your names. So for instance, joint bank account statements, joint lease, joint credit cards. Those are some examples of that. And if it's based on marriage, now you can also apply for citizenship at 2 years and 9 months, where citizenship is eligible for the 3-year mark, but you can apply 90 days before. So here, it's another whole vetting process where they're looking at whether or not you still have a real marriage, even though you went through a big 3-year green card process, even though you went through the I-75 process, it comes up again at the citizenship process. So it gets a little intense here because you got to demonstrate that all again, provide all those joint documents again, show you have a real relationship again. So it's not as easy as the 5-year citizenship path because you have to demonstrate that real marriage again. Another important thing to note is that USCIS, what I've been noticing is they, in a way, are using this whole citizenship process to go back, re-examine all of the prior applications, and if they find anything, they've been issuing RFEs asking about, well, why did this happen? What did this happen? Why did you say this at the US Embassy? So if you have anything you're worried about in your immigration past, talk to an attorney to make sure that all the issues are addressed, because it's not just like you're going in for that citizenship interview and there's it's a straightforward time anymore. They do go back and re-examine your prior cases, and so you want to make sure that you are prepared. So with all of this, what's made it even worse is the Trump extreme vetting policy, and that extreme vetting policy, as I've discussed before, you've been vetted either through the work visa process, through the green card process, or through marriage, through the I-751, through the immigrant visa, and now you got to go through it all again, and they're using that as pretext, as an excuse to slow everything down. And so what we've seen is a slowdown, around 50% slowdown since the Trump administration, where now, depending upon where you live in the country, because it depends upon your jurisdiction, it can take anywhere from 8 months to 2 years to get your citizenship. So the sooner that you apply, the better. What's making things even harder is that, and I don't like being the bearer of bad news here, I just feel like I'm giving you guys bad news, but I'm just giving you the lay of the land of what's going on now. So what's making things even harder is that filing fees have just been going up. And it's not your fault, it's the government's fault. Right now, they're gonna increase the filing fee in October to over $1,000. This is a significant increase from 2016. If you look at the trends, where they've increased it to this amount. And the reason is because USCIS is inefficiency, and they're passing that cost on to you because their mismanagement in the past. They're raising fees because they're not like other government agencies. The USCIS depends upon filing fees in order to run their offices. Now, they had a $1.2 billion request to Congress because of these inefficiencies. And they're looking at cutting back and cutting costs like other businesses are having to during this COVID time. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. They're predicted to be able to continue to move until October without receiving that funding. We will continue to monitor and see what's happening with the funding and whatnot. But it's really important to note that this mismanagement that really, I think, occurred before COVID, and COVID seems to be like a pretext for what's going on, happened prior to COVID, and now it's just coming to light, all of this mismanagement and shortfall. And they've exacerbated this problem, made it worse because they've cut back on, all of these immigration policies. Well, of course, H-1Bs, of course, L-1s, of course, O-1s, where we've seen a drop in filings, that has affected the total overall budget. So these are the factors, some of the factors here that are increasing the processing times. Now, how does that affect politics? Well, it's very interesting that these processing times have increased, and it makes you wonder, is this intentional or not? Because right before election time, there's all of these applications that are pending where people who could be citizens are not able to vote. So that's how it affects politics. All of these delays, all of these little things that USCIS is doing has prevented people from having the right to vote as citizens, which could make a huge difference in the election. Another thing that we've noticed is that the application processing has significantly decreased. What's going on is that they're processing about 30 to 40% less applications than they were before. So before, they may have been processing around 70,000 a month, and now they might be processing around 48,000 to 55,000 since March. So that's another factor, is just the number of applications that they're processing. So what you can do now is make sure you get your application in before October 2nd, before those filing fees increase. Don't give up, file your application, because you can still become a citizen. It might take longer, unfortunately. This may change, the processing might change with a change of administration. And in some, if you have criminal issues, talk to an attorney. If you've been outside the country, that's another thing. Outside of the country for more than 50% of time, or a significant amount of time within the last 5 years or 3 years, talk to an attorney. Smash the like button if you like this. Subscribe, get the notifications. I want to thank you so much just for being amazing, for watching this video, for just overcoming, dealing with these challenges, because you are amazing, absolutely amazing, for just sticking in there and dealing with all the punches that have been thrown at you, like boom, 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 and I know you're just like dodging it, because you're awesome. Thanks, have an amazing day.